Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my channel. Today, we are going to be talking about the Tanlandian Civil War breakdown, but this is the first episode which we're going to be talking about the cause and the events that led up to the war. So, without further ado, let's begin. Also, stay tuned for announcements later on in this video. The events that would cause the start of Tanlandian Civil War would be the assassinations of Chikan Seitan, once former leader of Tanland, and the Tasmanian ambassador Aro Suyima, on February 5th, 2025. The reason that these two were assassinated was because one revolutionary by the name of Sufyan Wichun wanted to change his country from being a puppet and colony to Tasmania becoming an independent country relying on itself instead of foreigners. Instead of foreigners. And to him, the only way to achieve that was to assassinate the leader and the Tasmanian ambassador. The reason that he wanted to kill their own leader killed was because Chakan allowed the Tasmanians to control everything and allowing some of the civilians who didn't meet their expectations fall into undesirable fates. Also, every time they lose a war, they get punished severely by their enemies due to the Tasmanians' actions, and every time they have to pay reparations, they would steal or take all of Tanland's resources to make up for it. Killing the ambassador was a message to Tasmania, to the Tasmanians, that the rule over his people and his country are over, and he would be willing to do anything to achieve this goal. Now, so basically, what is happening is Tanland has been a puppet slash colony for Tasmania for maybe a couple years, and one of the soldiers that once served with the Tasmanian Empire and served for his country was Sufyan Wichun. Now, I'm saying served because, well, he was a soldier before he became a leader now, as the leader of the Tanland Democratic Army, which we'll get into later. But Sufyan saw what Tasmania did, and he saw what his leader did. And his leader was allowing Tasmania to control everything instead of him taking co-leading his country. I mean, he would lead his base, and he basically didn't like how his country was being treated over these past couple years, which we will get into here. And since the assassination of Chakan and Aro were a success, it would also lead to a separation, as I'm about to read here. It says here, even though the assassinations of Chakan and Aro were successful, some of the people that were loyal to Chakan and Tanzania were upset because, to their beliefs, Chakan did a lot for them by making an alliance with Tanzania to protect their country from powerful foreign countries, and the actions caused by Sufyan's soldiers and himself were seen as treason. These followers of Sufyan will be known to Tasmania and the followers of Chakan as rebels. Those who were loyal to Sufyan's ideals called the people that were loyal to Chakan's ideals and Tasmania's imperialistic ideals as loyalists. The new leader of Chakan's ideals will be his second-in-command general, General Paul Hun Chun. Now, also, there is a news article about this that I have remembered making when it happened, so we're going to read that article and then give a briefing of that. So let me pull this up real quick. Okay, so on the Plastic News article from February 5th, 2025, it's the title of the article says Chikan Sitan and Tasmanian Ambassador Aro Suyima assassinated. And it says here, today, the once former leader of Thailand, Chikan Sitan, was hosting a national ceremony in the city of Tangak with his invited guest, Ambassador Arusima of Tanzania. The reason they were together for the ceremony was to announce and celebrate their alliance and support each other for the past few wars they have been in, along with their success of economic growth for both countries. The local police began to set up barricades and had men behind the barricades, along with having a couple of officers stand guard by the podium where supposedly both Chakan and Aro would give their speeches when they arrived. Before the ceremony started, 3 soldiers were placed at 3 different buildings facing towards the podium to protect Chakan from many attempted assassinations. Protect Chakan from any. It's supposed to be any attempted assassinations or attacks. The 4 soldiers were the honor guard. The other 4 soldiers were the honor guard, and they have started to raise both the Tasmanian and Tanlandian flag. After a few minutes of preparation, civilians began to approach the barricaded area, where soon their leader would arrive. At around noon, Chakan and Aros, along with their commanding officers and bodyguards, have arrived, approaching the podium. Where was I? Approaching the podium. As they were heading to their positions, the civilians within the crowd would cheer for the leader and their ally for 10 minutes until the chief of police ordered them to quiet down. For the leader to begin his speech. The speech Chakan said to the crowd was, quote, "Fellow proud people of Thailand, today we are gathered to celebrate our friendship and bravery we have shared throughout the many wars we fought. Our enemies may have defeated us, but despite defeat, we are seen as true warriors. We are strong because of our knowledge and different styles of combat, along with the fury and persistence we dedicate ourselves. Our ally Tanzania has done a lot for us, as we do a lot for them. They helped us protect our country from our enemies and have given us materials we needed in order to modernize and industrialize our army and country to face those enemies and defeat them. Without Tanzania, I believe our country would not be where it is today. We should be grateful and thankful that Tanzania has had our back and support for us throughout the beginning of our existence. Thank you for listening." End quote. After Chakan gave his speech, Aro would then take the stand and would tell the people of Thailand that he was honored to represent his country after he heard Chakan's words of compassion and loyalty to his emperor and his own people, who have proven their loyalty for not just their country but to Tanzania as well. Aro would then step down, and Chakan would retake the stand to announce his plan for both Thailand and Tanzania moving forward. As Chakan was about to speak, he all of a sudden had fell on the ground. The people were panicking, and all military law enforcement officers went over to Chakan, but as soon as they were heading for Chakan, a civilian within the crowd, armed with a submachine gun, opened fire, killing 3 police officers and Aro. In return, the other officers killed the armed civilian to prevent him from killing more people. 3 of the officers also saw 2 of the soldiers that were supposed to be looking over where Chakan was standing were killed, and the final one was trying to escape. The 3 officers ran over where Chakan ran through the crowd to chase the soldier that they suspected was one of the assassins. As soon as they caught up with the soldier, they would later engage in a gunfight. The soldier shot and killed 2 of the 3, while the third took the shot and killed the assailant. The soldier that was responsible for the death of Chakan Seton was Private Ang Yuo, and as for Aro's assassin, was Yuo's friend, Jung Ho Asko. Ang and Jung were members of a secret group known as the Tanlandian Democratic Army. Their plan was to kill Chakan and Aro, hoping that one of their members could take over and remove Tasmanian influence of their country based on the journal that was recovered from Ang's body. Chakon's second-in-command advisor, Po Hun Chu, or Chun, yeah, it was Chun. Would take his place and would do anything in his power to find the traitors and get rid of them with any means necessary. Meanwhile, back in Tanzania, they have received the news of Varro's death, and they wanted to take part in fighting these rebels and punish them for the crimes they have committed. Okay, so basically, things were peaceful. The leaders of Thailand and the ambassador of Tanzania were coming together to basically celebrate their alliance, their allegiance with each other, and their friendship, and all the successes they have done throughout the years. And some of the people that were loyalists to Chakon and Tanzania were very ecstatic. They're like, yay, woo, new plans, new stuff for our country. But then all of a sudden, they heard gunshots. And actually, they didn't hear the gunshots. They saw the leader fall because the rifles that they had were suppressed to prevent panic. But even though they were suppressed to prevent panic, as soon as they saw the body of Chakon fell on the floor and officers were rushing around the scene, they immediately panicked, and that's what caused this chaos to happen. And one of the civilians that was attending the meeting was a member of Sufyan's group, and he disguised himself very well amongst the crowd, blended in the crowd until the moment where, after Chakon was dead, he would then draw out his weapon and shoot a few officers along with the ambassador to complete their plan. But their plan of replacing their old leader with one of their members has failed due to them being caught and the evidence that they have found upon one of the soldiers' bodies and the mistake of one of them trying to escape. So that's how that happened. Now, we'll continue on with the war in the next episode, but let's us continue to the announcements. Okay, guys, so the announcements is, one, I have decided to go back on eBay again, and I have ordered some new Army Men stuff and everything, so there's there's a lot of stuff, and it's going to be a very huge, I would say, like, very big Army Men review video that will be coming up soon. Now, but these packages that I've already placed an order for are going to be received on different dates. And the video itself, I don't know when it will be posted until I have everything, every single package that I get in the mail, all in one place. I would then start to go ahead and do a review video along with stuff like that. But also, in order to do that, I have to clean up my desk a little because my desk's a mess. But we're not going to worry about that until a few days after, or a few days later. But without further ado, this is it for announcements. I want to thank you guys for watching my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.